Hi everybody, my name is Marianne and I'm the Community Coordinator for the CREATE District 6 project here in Sacramento, California. CREATE District 6 is a collaborative project between California State University in Sacramento, the City of Sacramento's creative economy, and the artists and residents in District 6. So thank you for joining me for our fourth installment of CREATE on the Go. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these fun, personalized, beautiful, and inexpensive note cards with just flowers that you might have around your own yard. I'm also going to show you how to quickly dry these flowers in the microwave versus spending a week or two trying to dry them the old-fashioned way using heavy books. So first let's talk for a minute about the supplies that you'll need, and I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see what's on my work surface here. So the first thing you're going to need is a microwave, also some construction paper to make the note cards with. 2 sheets is good, 8.5 by 11. This is just a sheet of 8.5 by 11 note card. It's cut in half and then it's folded in half the long way. Also, you're going to need a felt pen and a straight edge pencil, a small paintbrush, some scissors, some white glue that will dry clear, and then your flowers. So let's talk for a minute about the flowers. Now the flowers that I find work best for me are pansies, hydrangeas. Rose petals dry beautifully, as you can see. Salvia dries really well. The other day I even tried to dry some succulent. It took a little longer, but it did work. So figure out what you have in your yard and go ahead and use that. The key is that you shouldn't have to go out and buy a bunch of expensive supplies to make this project. So let's talk about drying the petals and the flowers first in the microwave. This is a great tip. So basically just take your glass dish out of your microwave and then put a little towel on it, and all this towel is for is to help raise the flowers that you're going to be drying up a little bit where there's this dip in the microwaves here in the microwave glass plate. So I have just a white kitchen towel. And then I'm going to take some paper, tissue paper is what I use, white. You want to use white, but you don't have to use tissue paper if you don't have any tissue paper. You can also use just Kleenex or toilet paper. Don't use paper towels because of the texture. You don't want the texture coming through on your petals. So as you can see, I've already laid some hydrangea petals in here. I just lay it between the pieces of tissue paper and kind of lay them so that obviously they're going to be nice and flat, and you don't want any of them overlapping. You don't want the petals doubled over. So I've got 3 of them there, and I wouldn't do too much more than that, and I wouldn't do them too much bigger. You can, but it's just going to take longer. So then you want some heavy objects to put on top of this. Now I have seen some people use microwavable tiles, but if you don't have a microwavable tile, which I don't, I just used this wooden cutting board, okay, and this microwavable dish. And it has a flat bottom, not a concave bottom, and just put that right on top of there, and then put it in the microwave, this whole everything in the microwave for about a minute. And then take it out, take everything off, take a look at the petals. Use a pot holder though, because this is going to start getting warm, and there's going to be some steam that's going to be coming off of the petals as they dry. So be sure and have a pot holder so you don't burn yourself, and open them up and see if they are just a little bit crispy, like this one or this one, and flat. And if they are, then they're ready. If they're not, excuse me, go ahead and put them in for about another 20 seconds. I would do it in 20-second intervals till they get nice and dry. You don't want them to burn, so at this point just be very careful. So that's how you dry your flowers in the microwave. Pretty easy, huh? Much better than waiting for a couple of weeks for your flowers to dry. So then you want to figure out, depending on the size of your note card, how you want to lay your flower petals out on the note card. For instance, with this one, I took 3 hydrangea petals and I laid them like this. But you could put them in the middle, you could put them on both ends, however you want to do it. This is your project, and I strongly encourage you to individualize it. That's what makes it so special. So I'm going to go ahead and use these rose petals that I dried. And I try to do things in odd numbers, like 3, 5, 7. So I'm going to go ahead and use 6 petals like this. And you can just play with these and kind of figure out what kind of design you would like to put on the front of your card. And then there I have 6. So my 7th one, I was thinking about trying to use maybe one of the hydrangeas in the very center that I dried. Use this one, or maybe I might like this one a little bit better. I really like the blue, light blue, and I think it'll go really nicely with my note card. What do you think? So I'm going to make a design like that. So there you go, I have that design figured out. Now you just want to take a little scratch of paper, and I'm just going to get a little Post-it here. I like to use Post-its because they'll actually stick to a surface, your work surface. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it, your glue, white glue that's going to dry clear. Use a little bit at a time because it does dry rather quickly. And this is just a tip that I've learned, but I use a paintbrush to do this. And I'm going to brush the back of the petal one at a time, lifting them up very carefully. Now, if you have a more steady hand than me, you can use tweezers to hold your petals, but they are delicate and dainty, so you want to be pretty gentle with them. And just paint your glue pretty liberally on the back of the petal. And be sure and cover the edges as much as possible. And it's okay if the petal tears just a little bit. And then just take your note card and place it where you want it. And I'm going to put my flowers up here in the top left-hand corner. Okay. All right, so I have my first one on there, and just press it gently so that the glue has an opportunity to dry. And just keep going around like that with your glue, your brush. Until you get them all stuck on there. Tissue paper, not tissue paper flowers. We did make tissue paper flowers a couple weeks ago, but dried flower note cards. People have been doing dried flowers for a long, long time. I remember as a young girl drying flowers, and it taking forever because you'd have to put them in a notebook or something heavy and let them get weighed down. And I kept checking them. I get impatient. So this method is of drying them in the microwave is really helpful in that. So I'm going to need more glue here. Okay, so I have my first layer down. Now I'm going to work with these delicate, very delicate pink ones. And the neat part about this is you probably have things you can use in your own yard, so it doesn't cost you anything. Maybe a piece of construction paper or two. And the other great thing is that you can try different types of leaves too. Maybe you want to dry some of the rose leaves to go with your roses and attach those too, which is always makes it visually interesting. So I'm pretty liberal with the glue here because I really want these to stick well. And then just keep working them as that glue dries. You want this stuck to the surface, and you can tuck a little glue underneath the petal there because it will be drying. Clear. So I like about this glue. And then I would suggest when you are done drying, gluing your flowers, that you put your brush in some water as soon as possible, so that, oops, I just broke one, but I'll be able to stick that on there because the glue dries so quickly. Okay. There we go. I used roses and purple hydrangeas in this one. And I have that little stem. I really want to keep that stem on there if I can. So I'm just going to work a little glue under there. And there it is. Nice and flat. All right, so that will dry. Now the other thing that I like to do to personalize it, and you certainly don't have to because you have a beautiful note card right there already, but I like to take a complementary color felt marker or colored pencil and draw a ribbon. Now I didn't pull any stems much with this, so I'm going to draw my own stem. It's kind of coming off right here, so I'll just continue that down like that. And then I like to kind of put a little bow. I used a purple bow, a purple felt pen to make a purple bow that matches this purple hydrangea in the middle. I'm going to open up my note card because I don't want this felt pen to bleed through to the other side of my note card, and it wouldn't look very good. And then I usually put some curly cues on here, some kind of ribbon hanging off that. There you have it. Now you can color these in if you want. You don't have to. Sometimes I do a little bit of this. Okay. There you are. And then you can write your note on here. Missing you, or it could be a thank you card or a get well card. Okay. Just keep playing with this a little bit till you get it. And if you don't want to put these little ribbon on there, you don't have to. You could, but if you wanted to and you wanted to kind of sketch it in first to make sure that you didn't make a mistake and just kind of do a rough sketch on it, that's a helpful way to make sure that you don't ruin your card. Right, and then looks like I need a little more glue. You can kind of check back with your petals and make sure they're all sticking down well and flat. So you don't want them breaking in the process of being mailed and getting crumbly. Just try to press those down as much as possible. And then just let that glue dry. And then write your note. Okay, let's talk about making the envelope, which I kind of, I like to take shortcuts, as many of you know. So I just took a recycled envelope about the size that I thought I would want to use, and it's a little bit smaller than this note card, so I'm going to have to trim down the note card a little bit. And I just use that as a template for my envelope. So I take another piece of paper and kind of lay it out here. Use this gray. Or you can use the same color of blue, or you can use white. And just trace that and cut it out. And I just took this recycled envelope from a small note card that I got in the mail, or one that you have in your stationery supplies that's an extra. Trace it, and then just cut it out, and then just glue it together. So you're going to cut it out and you're going to glue it here and here with your white glue, and then just glue it once you put slip your note card in there. You're just going to glue it across here too with your white glue, and then it's ready to mail. So there you go. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I hope that you like the note card that you came up with, that you're going to mail to a friend. And let me know how you did. If you'd like to post pictures of your finished note cards on our Facebook page at CREATE District 6. We also have an Instagram site you could post them. And also this video will be uploaded into our CREATE District 6 YouTube channel. So until next time, thank you for joining me, and have fun creating. Bye-bye.